international golf travel market, IGTM Links 2021, and our latest panel discussion, one which I've been very much looking forward to, international golf travel, the strategies, considerations, priorities, and opportunities for post-pandemic member trips. I'm Farhad Haidari. I'm the founder of the House of Haidari, a consultancy at the intersection of luxury, travel, lifestyle, and of course, golf. I'm also the editor of NetJets magazine and a former executive at American Express. Allow me to introduce my distinguished panels today. Joining us from Collier, Wisconsin is Brian Stevens. Brian is golf sales executive for Destination Collier, which of course comprises American Golf, Whistling Straits, and Black Wolf Run. And nice to see you, Brian.
Good day, everyone. Welcome from Wisconsin.
We're heading south next to Casa de Campo in the Dominican Republic to say hi to Kelly Sheehan. Kelly is the director of sales at the iconic venue. We all know Teeth of the Dog, of course. Hi, Kelly.
Hello from sunny Caribbean.
Fantastic. We're zipping across to Europe, to the top of Europe, in fact, and to Norway. We welcome Tore Wago, the long-standing general manager of Mikkagard Golf Club. Hi, Tore. I think I butchered the name. I apologize.
That's fine, Farhad. Hello from cold Norway and snowy Norway.
And finally, joining us from the English county of Buckinghamshire, which is down the road from me here in London, is Stewart Collier, the director of golf at Stoke Park, the iconic venue that's been hosting more than its fair share of silver screen time, including the famous golf scene in Goldfinger. Hi, Stewart.
How are we doing, Farhad? Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Ladies, gentlemen, golf has been one of the beneficiaries of COVID. It has to be said. Golf rounds are up. Interest in the game is up. And if I can just start with you, Brian, I mean, it's incredible what's happening. Let me know about what your priorities are at the moment as you look to a post-pandemic golf paradigm, if you will.
Yeah, so we have the excitement of the Ryder Cup. We're the next host site for the Ryder Cup. And because of the COVID pandemic last year, we have been able to extend that excitement by one more year. We are a cold weather destination 6 months of the year, but then we have fabulous summers. We have great weather. It's a nice escape for southern warmer climates. And then with the COVID pandemic, we've been doing great as far as managing things around the resort. And here at the golf course, we're going to continue to wear a mask and have a number of safety protocols in place to make sure that everybody's staying safe.
And of course, Tore, you're also a cold weather climate, let's say. I mean, not to get into a weather forecast. Presumably you have the same priorities as Brian does, is that right?
Absolutely. And we are actually going to open a huge hotel at the club at the end of May. So it's a bit of a job with that. And we're looking forward to get into the season again. Usually we are going to open the course around 1st of May, I guess.
And was the hotel planned pre-pandemic, or was this as a result of? Did you guys see an opportunity there, or?
No, it was pre-planned. It was supposed to be open 15th October last year and postponed, obviously, because of the pandemic. So looking forward to getting a resort.
Let me know a little bit about what you're looking forward to in this post-pandemic paradigm.
We've been very lucky at Casa de Campo because we are really open air. Most of our restaurants are open air. We have 7,000 acres within the gates on the property. So what we've seen through the pandemic, we've been very lucky, is that everyone from the US and other parts of the country have really come to the Dominican Republic, to Casa de Campo, and stayed for lengthy periods of time. So they're starting to actually work from Casa de Campo in one of our villas now. So we're lucky, we have 1,800 homes, 3 to 10 bedroom homes. So we've kind of adapted to everything and said that, privacy is the new luxury. So, staying in a villa home isn't too bad, like you said.
And Stewart, the proposition for Stoke Park, obviously it's a small luxury member of small luxury hotels. It's a beautiful mansion that everybody will recognize. But you have members. It's a golf club in addition to a sort of a hotel resort. What are the members there telling you that they want to do and go post-pandemic?
Well, they're very keen to get back out here first and foremost and get themselves onto the golf course. So when the gun goes off on the 29th of March, we're going to be very much in demand, and the first few months are going to be exceptionally busy with member play before we have any sort of visitors back at the club. But we've got golf travel planned later in the year, and there is a huge appetite for golfers to sort of get back out there and sort of just try to get back to normal.
I mean, you look at some of these stats that, I mean, I've got this one stat in front of me that says global golf tourism is expected to post a compound annual growth rate of close to 11% between now and 2023, according to the latest market research report. And so that boasts well for all of you, but particularly a destination like you guys, Brian. I mean, it's, you know, you guys obviously have some big key date in the diary to look forward to.
We absolutely do. We were having great success leading into 2019. 2020 was lined up to be another record year for us here in Collier. 2021 is going to be another great season for us. We are actually adding on a par 3 course, the Bass at Black Wolf Run, and that'll open June 4th. So we think that will bolster our lineup of great golf courses, and then give them something else to do after golf, just to have a little fun.
Yeah, short courses are very much in vogue at the moment. There are short courses being launched left, right, and center. Of course, Tiger at Pebble, and you can go to Cabot Links up in Nova Scotia. They've got a short course as well. Tori, in addition to the hotel, what else are you guys planning as different amenities for your members?
We are also into the plan of making a short hole course. And you know, when we start building the hotel, we rebuilt the 6 holes on the golf course. So we have quite a lot of work to do to get back to normal. Hopefully we can do the short hole course as well in 2021 or 2022.
Stewart, from your standpoint, what do you look forward, or what are you looking toward when you book these, member trips, if you will? What are the members telling you that they want? Do they want to go somewhere where it's cloistered, it's a destination where they can only do golf? Do they want the cultural side? Do they want food and gastronomy? What is it that are the intangibles that you look forward to when you're booking one of these big trips?
I think first and foremost, coming from a sort of world-class venue, we've got to make sure when we're traveling that the experience matches up or, is as good as or better than what you're used to at home. So, golf is always the driver for us, and, making sure we're going to a destination where people are sort of probably ticking off at least one bucket list course. That's probably then closely followed up, as you say, by, restaurants is probably one of the other really big things. When I've got our group that you mentioned to Spain, is nearly 60 players now, trying to organize events, evenings, dinners, those sort of things are absolutely key to the sort of whole kind of social element of the trip.
And I didn't hear you mention wineries or distilleries, but perhaps Tora can speak to that. I mean, that sort of figures large in my planning. When I do golfing, but perhaps other members as well. Tori, do you want to speak to that a little bit of the other things that people may be looking forward to?
Yeah, I agree with Stewart. I think golf is obviously the most important thing. The golf courses and the service and the experience that is the most important thing for my members. But certainly wine and winery and food is also very, very important. So I think it depends what kind of guys that's going on the trip. Obviously, it could be 12 golf crazy guys, and it could be a trip for the family.
Kelly, you mentioned the outdoor space at Casa de Campo, and of course, the architecture of the future is going to play a big part in how we end up spending time. You want to go to a place that doesn't have too many pinch points, that it's airy, it's indoor, outdoor, there's circulation. And even though, we've got the vaccine on the horizon, is that one of the big USPs that you guys have for people who are booking to come to you?
Absolutely. And I think, as mentioned before, the other really benefit that we have is so there's so many things to do. So rather than just one golf course, we have 63 holes of golf. So you're never going to get bored on, playing golf at Casa de Campo. We've got Teeth of the Dog, ranked top 50 in the world, and then Die 4 and the Links golf course, all Pete Dye design courses. But yeah, the restaurants, it's fantastic because you don't feel like you're just at one restaurant. We have so many on property that, like I said, are open air. And then we package that all together. So My role at the resort is building those stay and play packages and booking those groups. So when they get to the resort, they're not going to feel like they're nickel and dimed. It's all included, and you're ordering right off the menu. So.
And that's a really important point. I mean, when we go off on one of these, beautifully curated trips, you don't want to seem like you're being given the heave ho every time you get the bill. Stewart, when you're thinking about booking these things, I mean, are you thinking of? I mean, you mentioned bucket list destinations, but are you thinking about a place which has a number of different courses, like let's say a Marrakesh, that you can sort of decamp to a particular hotel and then hit 4 or 5 different courses, or 6 or 7 courses? Or are you thinking, you know what, we want to have a smaller, much more focused, let's say, proposition that are going to drive the members even more?
Depends if we're going kind of short haul or long haul. Really, we tend to kind of alternate with a European trip, sort of 4 days, 3 rounds. And we'll stay for the location there that perhaps we've not got to transfer too much for the golf rounds in between. And then, when we go long haul, we alternate a long haul and a links tour kind of each year. So I think on those, we'll tend to go for a week. And then, we can pick a location where actually, an hour plus transfers are okay, to go and make sure we kind of tick off the right golf courses.
Tori, on the point that Stewart just mentioned operationally, obviously you work with tour operators all the time. You're working with them for all the logistics, for all the operational bits. What can they do to help you out when it comes to you making decisions about where you want to go? Are there considerations and priorities that they should keep in mind to be able to service you and your needs?
Yes, I think tour operators is very important for a club that wants to go on a trip. Usually we are fixing the flights ourselves. That is the easiest thing. From everything else is sorted by a tour operator. And what we are looking for is the tour operator. They know the golf course, they know the resort, they know everything around it, which is very good for us. And what I'm looking for is a program. I want to have a program that I can show to my members and that I can trust. If I can trust it and I know it's good, then I have no problem booking it. And it will always be some kind of questions or problems. And if we have a good tour operator, they will fix it for me, which I need if I go with 40 guys. I have 68 guys to South Africa in January. I need a tour operator.
And Stewart, presumably you have the same considerations as well for the trips that you're booking.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't consider probably doing one of these, these bigger events without an operator. And certainly over the last 12 months when, we've had to reschedule or move 3 trips, having the benefit of those being in the background to support, was absolutely priceless to us.
Because what they do is they buttress all the things that you're doing, all the different intangibles, to just make it as smooth a trip as possible, obviously. Yeah,
and the events are a massive kind of value add and part of the membership, but we are not a tour operator. We run members events and they're an add-on as part of the business, but we don't have the time or the expertise to get into dealing with the ground handlers and sorting the hotels out and the restaurants and the various tea times. And, we need to tap into their knowledge pool within their business to understand that if there's a destination we want to go to, what's the order of courses, depending on when we're flying in, perhaps building up to a final day somewhere. And, the other one that we mentioned earlier, just getting the dining requirements right. When we've got 60 people out together, how we split the group, what type of experiences we want. I mean, I'd love to go on 4 or 5 inspection trips and sort of get that all planned out, but I don't think Mrs. Collier would be very happy. So I need to rely on the tour operator to provide that information for me.
Kelly, from your side, it's obviously slightly different. You're looking for inbound, and so you're obviously working with a whole slew of different tour operators that offer different things from different places. What are some of your priorities and interests there that make you say, you know what, I'm going to go with company A rather than company D?
Well, on a sales side, our relationship with the tour business. They are the trip experts. So, you know, a lot of business that we would have not have found otherwise, you know, are coming through the tour operators. We're confident once they get on property that they will return. And for any of you that have been to Casa de Campo, it's, you know, the people, they make you feel like your family. And we like to say it's a home away from home. So the relationship with that tour operator, that's very important. You know, we understand that their reputation is on the line with every client they have. So that's where, you know, we do whatever we can to accommodate whatever the tour operators need.
And of course, tour operators, Brian, the more people they bring, the more lucrative it is. So how do you go about increasing numbers from your standpoint?
Yeah, so tour operators is definitely an important piece of business for us here in Destination Collier. Everything from a 2-ball or foursome to 12 or 16, we handle those and have dozens of them every year. We have a team in the American Club Hotel that specializes on working with those tour operators. We get them packaged into one of our packages. We give all the pricing up front. We're very transparent about our pricing as far as the direct to guest and how the tour operator is going to see their margins and any discounts offered. But then once they're on property, just like what Kelly said, we trust that our product and our staff and everything here at Destination Collier is going to be top notch, regardless of how they got to us, and that they're going to come back and want to come back again. But then also to Stewart's point, with larger groups, once we get tour operator groups that are 25 players or more, those actually come directly to me. And so I work with the tour operators to make sure that we get the dining plans together, that we find the right location, we get the right golf itinerary that works best for their group. And traditionally at the larger groups, we'll see 9 to 12 months in advance so that we can make sure we have all options open to us and we're not fighting any barriers there.
Brian, for you guys, I mean, what are you guys doing on site in anticipation of? I mean, forgoing all the other tweaks that you're doing, but considering the visiting amateur golfer rather than the professional.
Yeah, absolutely. So similar to what Kelly described down at Casa de Campo, we also have 3 hotels. We have a 5-star hotel, we have a 3-star hotel, then we have a boutique property that is above our Collier Water Spa. So we do have Collier Water Spa here in town. It's a 5-star spa for those times when you're off the golf course. And then we do have 4 of Pete Dye's finest golf courses designed here. So we do package together for the amateur golfer, 2 or 3 night stay with 3 or 4 rounds of golf. We will go ahead and package in transportation to and from the private airport if they're flying privately. Otherwise, we'll help them out with arrangements to and from Milwaukee or Chicago O'Hare airports. Milwaukee Airport's 1 hour away from us. There's not even a stoplight in between, so it's a great way to get in if you're domestic. Otherwise, flying international direct into O'Hare, you've got about 2.5 hour drive then. But it's fairly easy to get to us. But then once you get here, we are a destination to where we're not in a major metropolis. Our immediate area has about 70,000 people in the area, but you are within range of other opportunities. One of the biggest opportunities in the fall is a Green Bay Packers football game. We are 1 hour south of Lambeau Field, and many people are drawn to that come the fall.
The cheeseheads, the famous cheeseheads, of course. Yes.
Yes.
You mentioned those Pete Dye courses. You didn't mention how brutally difficult they are, but we'll skip past that. You were trying to sugarcoat them.
No, they're not too bad. Give it 14 years. I've been here 14 years. They're easy now.
Torre, from your standpoint, obviously you guys, everything is sort of mid-haul for travel in and out of Norway, unless you're going down to Scandinavia. Where are you looking to? Obviously, warm weather climes Mediterranean, but do you go further afield for your members?
Yes, we do both. We have short trips like Stewart, 3-4 days. A lot to the UK. We always have a links tour. A links trip for Norwegians is very special. We don't have any links courses, or we have one, but not like in the UK. So that's what we do during the season. And then we always have 1 or 2 long trips outside our season. Usually in South Africa, the US, Caribbean. So that is what we're planning. Those are usually 12 to 14 days.
Kelly, I mean, apart from being an executive at Casa de Campo, you're also a former head pro. So you wear those two hats very, very well. Are you looking out for certain intangibles in order to get, let's say, more women on these trips rather than men, to make it a little bit more diverse? I mean, how does that play out for you with that hat on that you have?
Right, absolutely. I mean, we're lucky we have all the amenities for non-golfers as well. We're really diverse, where I think when I first started with Casa de Campo, it was a lot of men's trips. And from my experience, knowing all the PGA professionals, that was the low-hanging fruit for me in the business, was going to those club pros that I knew. But there's a huge opportunity for corporate groups, for women-only groups, for couples. And we're starting to see surge in this time, especially during the pandemic, and families, groups of traveling together.
Brian, back to you, if I may. There's always this debate with golfers. Where does a certain course sit in the pantheon? Do you guys get involved in sort of a contest of greater than thou with some of your competitors in the sector? How does that play out? And then how does that translate into people coming and visiting? Because of course these rankings are hugely important for a certain very, very keen golfer.
Yeah. Absolutely. So that's definitely one of our draws, is for our 4 golf courses for the United States public rankings. They're all in the top 60. So it's definitely a bucket list thing for Americans to tick off. But obviously, Whistling Straits, which is about 50 yards to my left here, the Straits course, is the draw. And that's what everyone from around the world wants to come and see. And it's only going to expand in this September after the Ryder Cup matches are contested.
Now, somebody told me that you're broadcasting from the locker room. Is that correct?
I am doing that. So in September, the Ryder Cup team is going to be, the European Ryder Cup team will be right here in this building, the Champions Locker Room. Number 10 tee on Straits courses, yeah, like I said, about 50 yards behind me here.
I think from a venue location, Brian's got us all beat. No offense to the rest of us in the proceedings. Tore, can I ask you? Norway is not seen as a big golf destination. I think that's fair to say. Are you guys trying to change that? Is it? How are you going about doing that? How many golf courses are in your vicinity? Yeah.
I think actually Norway is trying to do something about it. Obviously, we don't have a long season. It's 5 months, 6 months, and you have to travel into Oslo, which is that makes it harder in Norway because you fly into Oslo. It's very good for Miklagard because it's 7 minutes away from the airport, and then we have a huge hotel and we're 20 minutes away from Oslo. But other than that, if you're really going to experience something that is special for Norway, you have to go up north, which is maybe 5-6 hours to get up there with a plane. But you can play if you go to Lofoten Links, which you might have heard of. It's an experience that you should try it once. But the weather is harsh and the temperature is not good. But it is fantastic. It is.
Kelly, what is the if I can ask, what is the number one inbound? I mean, if you can give us the top 3, the in terms of inbound destinations, countries, let's say. I mean, is it US? Is it Canada? Is it Central America? Where are you getting most of your visitors from?
Like I said, all over the world, but I'd say if we're looking primarily at the US, so I oversee the US and Canada, we have a heavy inbound database from the Northeast. So it would be Northeast number 1, and then Midwest. Obviously the West Coast, it's not easy lift. So it's further down the list. And we target those markets when we go after them.
Stewart, when it comes to you booking these trips, do you get into a sort of a bidding war with places that are trying to get your your dollars, let's say, or your pounds, to bring that big chunk of change and your members to that particular destination? Do you go to location A and say, well, location Z has offered me this, can you do better than that? Do you get into this sort of territory, or is it all sort of above board, if you will?
Do you know what? Generally, it's not price driven. The members that we've got here, demand a quality experience, and that's our job to bring that. So it isn't always about, right, let's go out and see where we can get the best package kind of pulled together. It's very much, we do look at those rankings, so as Brian was referring to, it's something that's important to their business. I'll know that when we pull the marketing material together, we're very much making the members aware of where these courses are standing in rankings. So I think, that drives the agenda more so than just trying to chisel a bit on a green fee here or there. Sometimes they might throw in a welcome drink for us or some other bits and pieces, but that's not a priority for us.
And how, do you obviously do member surveys to find out, do they want to go to place A or place B or place C, and how much input do they have on that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a survey thing. We'll speak to a group of the regular travelers, but as you mentioned at the beginning, we have a sort of captain's tour. So it's such the club captain will host one of the trips that we do, and the guys who are in the shoot to do that in the future years are probably planning where they want to go 4 or 5 years ahead. So it's very much sort of driven by a destination the captain would want to go to. So back in 2010, we had a week in Malmo, which again isn't somewhere that a lot of people would maybe tick as a golfing destination, but it was somewhere that he'd been to. He loved the city, he loved the golf around there. So it was great to kind of go off the beaten track a little bit and sort of experience a new location.
Incredible. Brian, if I can, it's forgoing the Pete Dye situation, which are spectacular courses, obviously. What are the other things that, and the spa notwithstanding, when you have inbound visitors, are they looking to add on another trip? Let's say if it's not a grouped situation, do they seek your advice? Do you help them out with other properties that they can get onto that maybe they otherwise would not have been able to? Is there a lot of do you work with others, let's say in that particular region, to make it a sort of a bundle for people who want to come and visit?
That's a great question, because the state of Wisconsin in the United States is becoming one of the top golf destinations. We currently have 9 of the top 100 courses in the United States. So there are some good neighbors of ours. About an hour away, you have Erin Hills, the 2017 US Open host. And then 2.5 hours northwest of us, up into the northern part of the state, you have Mike Kaiser's Sand Valley property, which is a sister to Cabot Links and Bandon Dunes. So we are finding a number of groups that are like they're trying to come in and hit all 3 of the major properties. And it's not that we don't partner with them, but we do not contract with those events or with those different venues. We do have a tour operator locally here in Wisconsin that has picked up a major piece of that business and does a great job with partnering with all 3 of us. But direct to the competition, we don't work or don't contract with them.
Tori, what can destinations do to capture your attention for a particular, a destination or a venue or a property? Is there something that they can do to make themselves much more attractive when you are considering booking them?
I think, as I said earlier, I think the golf course is the most important thing, and the second thing for me as a general manager is the service. If the service is good, and the follow-up is good, and the organization is good, we will go. We need help, from going from Norway. It's such a hassle with flights and stuff like that. So if everything is sorted on the resort, we are happy. So I think that is the main thing.
And Kelly, you mentioned the airlift from the West Coast coming to Casa de Campo is a little bit challenged. Do you work with the airlines? Do you work with particular handlers to try to make that a slightly more seamless, streamlined effort for those who want to come and visit from that part of the world?
We actually do have one airport that we own. That's primarily private flights, and that's 5 minutes from our resort. A fun fact is that airport used to be our main airport with commercial airlines, and they would land on the 18th fairway. So they would stop, play on the 18th tee. You'd see a huge jet land, and then play would resume. So we have that airport, and within our packages, we will pick you up from that airport as well as the 2 other airports with more flights coming in from all over the world. So any 3 of those airports, our transfer company is tracking the driver, the vehicle. So it's all very seamless once they land.
Stewart, if I'm not mistaken, you published a stat which was staggering that said last year member rounds were up 35%.
Yeah.
And member guest rounds were up 67%, despite you guys being closed because, of course, lockdown in Britain for 12 weeks. Speak to me a little bit about golf in general and the appetite for golf for people who are either in lockdown, coming out of lockdown, or haven't been in lockdown. I mean, what is that appetite like from where you sit?
I think it's huge, and the challenge at the moment is they're all sitting at home watching the Players Championship and getting warmed up for the Masters, and 29th of March we're going to be back open again. So we fully expect this summer to be very much like 2020. Golf is one of the safest things you can do. We've got loads of room out there. It's a very member focused environment. And as we said, we're not having any visitors, but we are having sort of member guests permitted to come out and play. So we closed our membership list last year because we're taking on 110 new members. So you could see from the stats that were published, we had more play on the golf course with 0 corporate events last year, and corporate golf days and non-member play probably normally makes up about sort of 35-40% of our rounds. So the club golfer is at home, is working from home, isn't going into London, is adding in the extra twilight rounds. You see them out, ordinarily you'd have millionaires golf here at 5-6 o'clock in the evening in the summer. Now the members are booking tee times till 7-8 p.m.
And is it the same thing for you, Tora, as well, for your members? Is that appetite like through the roof?
Yeah, it is 25% up last year, and I expect the same in 2021. It's we are actually in the lockdown at the moment, so I guess when the courses start opening here 3 weeks, I think it's going to be full from day one.
And Brian, have you seen any, I haven't looked at all the different demarcation lines between US states. Are there any states around you guys that have a lockdown where you can't play golf that you've benefited from, or is it complete free for all? Because I know it is in Arizona and Florida and elsewhere.
Yeah, so right now, one of the biggest benefits that we had last year when the pandemic hit was that our neighboring state, Illinois, with Chicago just a few hours away, they were more strict. And we did benefit from Chicagoans and people from Illinois driving up, making a couple-hour drive to visit. Currently, the toughest restrictions are out in California. And so we will see some of that benefit when the golf course is open here. We're scheduled to open in mid-April, depending on the weather. But we will see some benefit from Californians who are looking to travel and get away. In fact, I just talked to somebody yesterday down in San Diego, and we're booking a trip for August for him because he said he's just tired of being at home and just wants to get away. So we are seeing the benefit from that.
So when I parachute into San Francisco on April 23rd, I should either come to you or go see Kelly in Casa de Campo to get my golfing fix, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Actually, yeah, it's a perfect time to say April 23rd. That's our opening day, so that's great.
Kelly, you mentioned the private airport. How big a market is the private jet and private aviation sector for you guys? And are you working with them a bit more closely? Are you working with different purveyors? How is that all working out?
Yeah, we actually deal with a jet broker. We started that a little heavier during the pandemic. Just we saw the need, to adapt, and And it's not just a service for our resort guests, but we're seeing a lot of homeowners utilize that service. So in their travels, and that's been fantastic. If it's a jet and it has 16 seats, or 8 or whatever, that's usually the type of golf groups we're having come in, 8s, 12, 16. So it's been very useful. Yes.
Fantastic. I want to thank you all for your contributions today. From Buckinghamshire, Stewart, from Stoke Park, thank you very much for yours.
Pleasure. See you soon.
Brian, thank you very much indeed. Collier, Beckons, and we shall come and, well, we'll see you, but we'll visit you as well. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Nice talking to you.
Torre, we will see you when you bring your members to the British Isles, anytime, anywhere. Very nice to have you with us today.
Thank you.
And Kelly, thank you very much indeed for your contributions as well. Again, the envy-inducing Casa de Campo, there for all to experience. Thank you, Kelly.
I know I should have been at our beach club just to entice you guys to visit. So I'll do
I
that.
think that would have been the killer blow for all of us. Thank you very much for all of you who watched. I'm Farhad Haydari from the House of Haydari. Thank you.